What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Creative. We're back at it again today to create something great. I appreciate y'all patience with me today as I was just going through a bit of technical difficulties, but we got it. We're good. We're running. So today we're going to be continuing our work that we have been doing, right? So today we're going to finish up our QQQ strategy, and we already have one bot that's running, right? So we have our Lotto strategy bot running, and this strategy purchases. So, let me go back and introduce. So here at Creative Coder, what we do is recreate different coding projects, whether it's algo trading, whether it's AI agent, whether it's machine learning. And these past couple of weeks, we've kind of been stuck on algo trading. It has been advantageous for us. We have been seeing some good gains. So I wanted to bring you all along on my process on how I create, go from the idea, being able to flush out the idea, and then being able to have the going back testing and then creating the bot. So we have one bot that's running. If you go check out some of our other videos, you would see how we created this Spy Lotto bot. And what it does is purchases same day options, right? So whenever you see, I thought I had it, thought I had it. Nope, 0DTE, right? So this is just from our previous stream, so we're going to go through that, so don't worry, right? So whenever you see, hold on, you know what I forgot to bring up, and that's okay. All right, come on, load me. Beautiful. Let me do that, and let's bring it to the top. Excuse me, I'm supposed to have this up. All right, we're good. So I'm using Cursor. But with inside Cursor, I'm using Claude Code. Now, what you're looking at is a session that I've already started. I was working on it, just forgot to go live. So I'm live, and we're going to just pick up where I left off. We're working on QQQ. Now, QQQ is whenever you think about the difference between QQQ and SPY, right? QQQ is on the Nasdaq, right? Let's just go over this again so we can have that refresher. So once we have the refresher, then we're going to jump into the code. Then we are going to talk a little bit more about this bot that's running here, right? I'm really excited about this one because the back tests that we've been seeing here have been really great gains. Now it's just a matter of being able to paper test it. So the way that you go, right, so you can have the process in line, we have the idea, we have a trading idea, then we go from trading idea to research, right? Then we research, then we go from research to back test, then from back test to paper test. So right now we're paper testing, and the difference between the two, if you haven't guessed it already, back testing is testing on historical data, right? So you want to be able to, you want to see how your strategy does with the in the past, right? Now a caveat there, just because it does well in the past doesn't mean it's going to do well in the future. That's where paper testing or walking forward comes into play. Now, you can walk forward, meaning that you can test your data on as much current data you have from 2025, meaning that you can forward test it from January till about September. I wouldn't use October yet till it's done, but you can, right? But I wouldn't use October until it's done. So you can go from January 25 to September 25 and forward test it, or you can paper test it. And that's what we're doing right now. So we're paper testing live. We're using IBKR, right? So whenever there is a trade that comes through, we'll bring, okay, stop spazzing. Here we go. I'll bring over IBKR and then we can see that live. So, and you'll hear it. You'll hear Albert. Albert will be like, all right, order confirmed, right? And once we hear that, then we were like, okay, we got an order coming in. Then I'll come back here so we can be able to go over it, right? So I'll touch more on this later. Now we're just going to jump right into our QQQ strategy that we are working on right now. So let's do this. Let me do that. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about QQQ. Now, if you've seen our previous streams, it's going to be a little bit more redundant in a sense, but I still want to be a touch on this for those that haven't seen it. So the first 10, 15 minutes or so, about 20 minutes, we're going to be what's called office hours, where we're going to review what we've done, what we're currently working on, and being able to build a little bit more context. Then we're going to go jump straight into the code. Right. So what we're doing right now is we're creating a strategy to trade same day options. And whenever you see 0 DTE, right, 0 days expiration, you're just going to think, okay, these are same day options, right? So remember, an option contract, for every one option contract, we have 100 shares. I should write that. I thought I did somewhere, but it didn't take. So I want to talk about more about that. So 0 DTE equals 0 days to expiration. Expiration, right? And remember, for every one option contract equals 100 shares, right? So what we're doing is trading QQQ, right? Of 0 DTE. Now, a little bit more about QQQ. Now, whenever you think of QQQ, think of a big basket of the 100 biggest tech heavy companies in the US, like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia, right? Palantir, AMD, right? So on and so forth, right? So QQQ compromises those 100 biggest companies, right? Are in QQQ. The full name is Invesco QQQ Trust, right? And that Invesco QQQ Trust is an ETF. So whenever you think of an ETF, that's just a fancy way of saying that you have multiple companies that are bundled into one. So for an example, I like to think of it as a quilt, right? You know how you have a quilt and you have different patches within the quilt? Now, each one of those patches represent a company. So patch one could be Apple, patch two could be Meta, so on and so forth, right? So whenever you think of a quilt, think of an ETF, think of a quilt, right? So that's your visual representation of it. So you can be able to demystify it a little bit, right? So an exchange traded fund or ETF, right, is a way that we bundle multiple companies within one. Right, so simple way. So imagine you have 100 different video games, and instead of buying each game separately, someone makes a game bundle that gives you all 100 games in one purchase, right? The QQQ is that bundle, but for stocks, right? And the reason we like QQQ is because it includes strong, well known companies. It follows the NASDAQ 100. It is the list of the 100 biggest non bank companies in the NASDAQ, right? It usually moves up or down, right, when tech companies do, right? So investors buy QQQ when they want to bet on tech companies doing well over time, or traders use it for quick moves like buying or selling options. They're usually 0 DTE. Remember that 0 DTE is a 0 days to expiration, right? So quick references, QQQ is a basket of the 100 biggest companies. It's an ETF, right? An ETF is just another way of saying a bundle of many stocks in one. People buy it to grow their money or to trade it fast. When Apple, Microsoft, or Tesla moves, QQQ moves too, right? So let's talk about the difference between NASDAQ, right, and the New York Stock Exchange, right? So the New York Stock Exchange is a fancy old building where fancy old building where people used to shout trades on the floor. It is the oldest, biggest stock exchange in the US, and it's kind of like the OG of the stock market, right? The location is in New York. More traditional, older companies like Coca Cola and Nike. I mean, yeah, you can put McDonald's there, but it's not as old as the, whatever. All right. Real trading for with people and computers, companies must meet very strict rules in order to get listed on the New York Stock Exchange, right? The NASDAQ, or the National Association of Security Dealers and Automated Quotations, no wonder why they call it NASDAQ. NASDAQ is a tech modern cousin of the New York Stock Exchange, or NYSE. It started out completely electronic, no shouting on the floor, just computers and networks. No trading floor, no physical trading floor, it's all online. A lot of technology companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Tesla, so on and so forth. More focused on speed and innovation. Easier listing rules compared to the New York Stock Exchange or NYSE, right? So age, when you think of the New York Stock Exchange, is about 1792. So that's when it was founded or created, right? NASDAQ 1791. All right. So whenever you get a Jeopardy question, when was the New York Stock Exchange? All right, 1792, NASDAQ 71. Style, we have a traditional plus trading floor, and NASDAQ is 100% online. Typical companies are Coca Cola, Nike, JP Morgan, John Pierpont. If you ever wonder what that JP and Morgan stand for, John Pierpont, Morgan. And then NASDAQ, you have Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla. The listing rules are very strict. For the NASDAQ, it's a little bit more comfortable, right? So the vibe is classic Wall Street, and then NASDAQ is tech and innovation, right? So NASDAQ is tech school, NYSE or New York Stock Exchange, right, is old school, right? So this is a little bit more about our strategy. We're going to get to that, but before we get there, I want to talk about volatility, right, and how that impacts option prices. Then we're going to go back and talk about VXN, the difference between VXN and VIX, and why we're using VIX. I know I have VIX up here because I was looking. Remember SPY? And just as a little side trading view. All right, open that up. Perfect. Remember, we're talking about all when we were creating Lotto, right? Let me just pull that back up. Where's Lotto? Perfect. Remember when we were creating Lotto? We figured out that there's an inverse relationship between VIX and SPY in the sense of whenever you see VIX up, right? Now, this isn't all the time, right? Like there are some instances when VIX pop and SPY pops, right? But normally when you see VIX up, and I'm looking trading view 1 minute chart, right? Meaning that each one of these candles here represent 1 minute. And the reason I like to use 1 minute is because that is normally how our strategies are back tested on. Now we can go to 5 minute, we can go to sub-second, but sub-seconds you really better know what the hell you're doing. Anything above 10 minutes, I really think that's a little bit too slow. So the way that I like to do is just stick at 1 minute, right? And again, each one of these candles represent 1 minute. And one day we're going to break down like how to candle trade, like a little bit more fundamentally. But right now, I want to stick with being able to algo trade, right? So again, each one of these candles represent 1 minute. And remember, we talked about the inverse relationship. So whenever you see VIX pop, they're just right now 1914, right? You're going to see SPY drag, right? So again, when SPY's up, you're going to see VIX drag, right? So now we want to be able to think about this in relation to QQQ, right? Now QQQ, let me just, since we're talking about this, QQQ and VIX really doesn't have that inverse relationship, right? QQQ already has its own OG that it follows, and that's VXN. So let me just talk about that real quick, right? So VXN is not a stock, it's not an ETF, right? VXN is a volatility index just like VIX. The full name is the CBOE Nasdaq Volatility Index. It tracks the 30-day volatility of the Nasdaq 100, right? Which QQQ follows closely. So because Jit is going to crab about it, let me just do this so we can have what we need. QQQ, perfect. We have NASDAQ. Let's just open up QQQ. So just to be completely transparent with you, I'm a little bit new to QQQ. Excuse me, QQQ and no, VXN. I know NASDAQ, but VXN I'm a little bit new to, right? So, but the range is kind of almost worth the same in the sense of like with VIX, we know anything above 20, watch your ass. We're in choppy zone. Oh, hold on. Did it just submit an order? Did our bot just
Order
submit an
filled.
order? We just got an order. We just got an order. We just got an order. So I told y'all, but it's a market order, and I kind of don't like that. This bot's supposed to be doing limit orders. So the bot just went in on SPY again, same day, a 672 call, and it cost us $31. So let us. Oh, and I wish I was watching that, but that's okay. We got to see it live. Let me see if I can zoom in that a little bit more so you all can see. And if you can't, just let me know. And then window, zoom. Oh, I don't want you to zoom. I just want you to zoom in, fam. Shell, no, the edit. And I'm using the terminal to run the bot. So just give me a second. I just all right, nonetheless, you should be able to see, and if you can't, let me know, and then I will. Wait, is it selling the position?
Order filled.
It just sold the position. Oh, it sold the position because it dropped 20%. It went from 31 to 28. So it's like, all right, I'm not holding that bag. So it just sold the position. So let's look at this, right? So the bot was able to find a breakout. So it found a breakout. Then it was like, all right, this is a perfect time for us to be able to go into a position. But it didn't stay in the position long because it dropped 20%. It went from 31 to 28, right? And there's a rule that we have here that if it drops 20%, get me the hell out. Reason being so is because these are same day options, right? So you have theta, and remember theta is time. Time is working against you when we're talking about same day options. right? So it got in at 31, but it got out at 28 or 29, right? So we lost $4, right? But I'd rather us being able to get out fast rather than trying to get in and trying to maintain it. Now, granted, this one could have went to the moon. Who knows? But the boss seen something that they didn't like, so it's like, all right, I'd rather get out now rather than just trying to hold it down. And that's what we have. That's a different type of risk management that we have within the boss. So I'm glad that you all were able to see that it went in at 33. It didn't see, it saw something it didn't like. It dropped down to 29. It was like, all right, a risk parameters. Let's go ahead and stop loss this and get out the position. So now it's looking for another one, right? And these are same day call options, excuse me, same day SPY options that we're trading with Lotto. So I'm glad it works. I'm glad it was able to identify, and this is live, right? Which is paper trading, granted, but it's just still live. So I'm glad it was able to find. I'm glad it was able to submit the order. The only thing I don't like is market order. I want limit orders. And the difference between a market and a market order means that whatever the bid and ask is, you're going to be paying it, right? So there's really no negotiating. Whereas a limit order, you can negotiate it. So if the market order is saying you got to pay $5 ahead, you got to pay $5 ahead. But if the limit order, you said, nah, that $5 really don't make no sense. Let me pay $3. I know I could pay $4.50, so go ahead and take my $4.50 and let me slide, right? So that's why I like to use limit orders as opposed to market orders. But for right now, it's using a market order. So we have to look into that on why it went in to that market order. Did it just pop, bro? So nonetheless, we're gonna let this bot keep going. I'm glad that it is working and it's doing what we need it to, right? And it's looking for SPY options. So anytime we do have another order come in, I will bring it back over so you all can see that. So let's just go back to what we were doing. So that's exciting. I was talking about the inverse relationship. Okay. So for VXN, we know that, and I know I'm pushing close on the office hours, but this is good stuff, right? So for VXN and for QQQ, right? Let's talk about this. Expected 30-day volatility for Nasdaq, which QQQ follows closely, right? Created by the CBOE, the Chicago Board of the Option Exchange. So QQQ measures the market expectations, not the price movement of a company or a fund, right? So easy ways to be able to remember: VIX and SPY are gang, right? QQQ and VXN are gang, in the sense of you can't directly trade it, right? But you can buy options if that's QQQ. And being able to trade volatility is really your thing. You can buy options or futures or derivatives in order to trade VXN or VIX. I wouldn't recommend it unless you know what the hell you're doing. But to be able to use it as an indicator, that's what we're doing, right? So same thing here. So we just see QQQ gapped up, right? So one goes up, another one goes down, right? So that inverse relationship is still there. So we just had to find one that was respective for of QQQ, and when it wasn't VIX, it was VXN. And I'm interested to see, does that mean? And I know I'm supposed to be doing just one thing, but I want to keep my eye on something. So that's interesting. So when VIX pop, so the question is, if when VIX pop, does VXN pop the same? We're seeing yes. And again, I don't know if this is causate. I don't know if this is correlated. Excuse me. Just because it's correlated doesn't mean it's caused it, right? Causation correlation, right? So I'm interested. We'll do that experiment later, but we just see um that just gapped up and it's going and it's headed back up to 20. So nonetheless, let's just let that do its thing and we'll just stay out our work, right? So we have that inverse relationship here, right? So let's talk a little bit more about the strategy. So what we're doing is we're trading QQQ same day options during a, oh, we need to talk about a gamma squeeze. We need to talk about gamma squeezes because that's one thing that we just added to this strategy that we haven't explained yet. We touched on it briefly, but I want us to be able to like really get this. I thought I had it. Okay, here it is. Gamma squeeze. So gamma, right, is the acceleration pedal for option prices. So delta tells us how fast the option price will move when the stock price will move, right? So gamma tells us how much delta itself speeds up when the stock price keeps moving. So think of it like a skateboard going downhill. First, it rolls slowly, low delta, right? But it keeps going up. It picks up speed faster and faster. Then gamma kicks in, right? So what's a gamma squeeze? Imagine a snowball on the top of a hill. At first, the snowball is small, the stock is moving up a bit. As it rolls, more snow sticks to it, and more traders are buying call options. As the snowball grows bigger and rolls faster, the market makers buy more and more stock to hedge their positions. I don't. Okay, let me. Can you thoroughly break down gamma squeeze like we are 12 years old and make sure to use out of the box analogies for this? This is dope, man. Like we're actually able to see our strategy live trade or paper trade. So I'm glad that y'all was able to see that and how it handle risk management, right? So we're just not in here going all willy nilly. That the strategy knows what it's doing and knows what it's looking for. So let's take a peek at it. VIX just popped up a bit, but that doesn't. We can trade, right? So this strategy is built to be able to trade in low volatility, meaning anything less than 15. Excuse me. I should talk low volatility, meaning anything less than 15, right, for VIX, and high volatility, anything above like 25 ish. That 20 to 25 range, that's your choppy zone. And this strategy is really not built for choppiness. So within that 20 to 25 range, and that's another. Okay, let's just stick to what we're doing because I don't want to confuse you all because I can go back and forth. I got a little bit of ADHD, but it's okay. It's going to work out for our benefit. All right. So a gamma squeeze is when a lot of people are buying options, usually call buying that focus. Excuse me. Let's do this again. A gamma squeeze is when a lot of people are buying, usually call buying, that forces the people who sold those options, market makers, to buy the actual stock or future to stay safe. Their buying pushes the stock up, which forces them to buy more, which pushes it up even more. It is a feedback loop that can make prices rock quickly, right? So an option call is the right to buy an option at a price later. The delta is and it's always not options, right? There are sometimes gamma put squeezes, right? It's always not an option. So this strategy can do either a put or a call. So it's just not calls, right? So we're not directional bias. Directional bias means that like you're only trading calls, right? You're only trading puts. There's no directional bias here because we're trading calls and puts. So let's keep going. Delta is how much the option price changes when the stock price is moving, a measure of exposure, right? Gamma is how fast the delta changes when the stock moves, is right? The acceleration of that exposure. A market maker is a person or company who sells options and hedges so they don't lose money. Hedging/delta hedging is buying or selling the underlying stock or futures to offset the risk. All right, step by step mechanics on how the squeeze actually forms. A lot of people are buying the call option of a stock, let's say, or QQQ, right? Buyers want upside. Sellers, the market makers, sell them for a premium. Market makers don't want to be long option risk, meaning they don't want to get assigned, right? So if the stock rockets up, sold calls becomes worth a lot. Market makers lose. So they buy the stock to offset that risk. This is called delta hedging, right? As the stock rises a little, those call deltas increase because of gamma. Remember, gamma is telling us that acceleration of exposure, whereas delta is the measure of exposure, right? So as the stock rises a little, those call delta increases because of gamma. That means that the market maker's hedge is now too small. They must buy more stock, right? So their buying pushes the stock higher and again increases delta the more they buy, and that's called a feedback loop, right? More options bought near expiration or at the money, the bigger the required hedges of the bigger the required hedges and the stronger the loop. The result, a quick and sharp price move, and that's called a gamma squeeze, right? So a small, give her another analogy. A small snowball, few calls roll down a hill. and it picks up snow and it grows faster and faster and it picks up more and it becomes huge. Option buying, people adding snow, market makers hedging, snowball gets heavier and rolls faster. A roller coaster with few extra rides. The stock speeds up with more when more people hop on, call buying. The operator, market maker, adds power by stock to keep things stable when things get even faster. All right, so let's do this. Why 0DTE same day expiration makes it super explosive? Gamma is the largest close to expiration, especially for at the money options, right? Remember we talked about at the money and the money, right? So this means a tiny move in the stock makes the delta jump a lot more. So market makers adjust their hedge very quickly. So the large hedge traders in the short window, the big upside pressure on the stock in the future. So 0DTE, the small order flow, big mechanical buys, big price moves, all can happen in minutes. What market makers actually do and why? They sell options and make premium. But selling raw options leaves them exposed. If the price moves, they stay neutral. They delta hedge if they're short calls. They buy the underlying. They'll buy. Okay, let's do that again. To stay neutral, they delta hedge. If they're short calls, they buy the underlying. If they're short puts, they buy the underlying. They sell the underlying. So okay, that makes more sense. If they short calls, they buy the underlying. If they short puts, they sell the underlying or buy futures. It is hedging is mechanical. It is driven by math, delta and gamma, not emotions. So as options get closer to the expiration or at the money, the amount that they have to hedge per option changes faster and more frequent in larger trades. The buying behavior, so this is a lot. Let's just go to the summary so we can recap this. So a gamma squeeze is a mechanical feedback loop and it's heavier, meaning, so mechanical feedback loop, right? So heavy buy options, right? Market makers hedge by buying the underlying, right? They buying more, the buying moves the price. Hedges grows and more buying, more explosive moves, and those moves are directly correlated to the 0DTE. Does that make sense? I know I was talking a lot. I wanted y'all to be able to understand what the gamma squeeze is, right? So now we understand the gamma squeeze. Let's go back and talk more about the underlying strategy, right? I want to talk about IV real quick because we need to talk about implied volatility. Then I'll get back to the bid and ask so you can understand that a little bit more. What are market makers? We just did that. Give me 1 second. Let me go back to the gamma squeeze. We're going to get to all this. And I know I should have been a little bit more organized, but you all right. You got me. VIX, VXN. All right, here is IV. All right. So here's volatility and implied volatility, right? So volatility, right, is just a fancy way of saying how wild, right, or how calm something is, right? So when the stock moves like a turtle slowly, that's low volatility. When the stock moves like lightning and fast and unpredictable, that's high volatility. So volatility is how wild or how calm something is, right? Implied volatility doesn't care about what's already happened, right? Implied volatility cares about what might happen next, right? So implied volatility is like, all right, scratching his head, yo, what's about to happen next? Whereas volatility is looking at the market right now, what's going on right now in the market, right? So IV is like the weather forecast.
Order filled.
Oh, we had another order. Look at that. Another order came in. Another order came in. We are just seeing it. Okay. So found another one. It is a 660. Let me find the call. We're 672 call. We just got in at 29, right? A delta, remember, is our probability of profit. And it's great. It has the IV here too. So I'm going to explain this. So the probability of profit is about 18%. And delta also tells us how the stock moves. So for every $1 movement, this option contract, remember, for every one option contract, there's 100 shares. So we're going to do it times 100. So for every $1 movement, this option contract is going to move $18, or it has an 18% to be able to make money, right? Now that IV is 20. Now that IV is not low, it's not high, it's kind of mid, right? So high IV is going to tell us that this is going to be super expensive. So instead of paying $29, if it was high IV, anything north of like 60, 70, right, you're going to be paying maybe double for this same option, right? So we called IV where it's mid. I love it, right? So we have our bid is what we are paying, right? And ask is what the sellers want, right? So again, this is market. So we kind of hit it somewhat expensive. It's not doing the limit in which I want, but this is something that we're seeing now. So that's great. So now what we're going to do is just adjust for it when the trading session is done. Session is done at 11. This bot only trades from 9:45 a.m. Eastern to 11, right? So that's when we found the most explosive moves for these same day options. We don't want to do anything too late because, again, same day options, if you hold them too long, they expire worthless and you just bet for no reason or you just put the money up for no reason. So what this is doing, it only trades from 9:35 till 11 a.m. I'm interested to see because it just opened a position at 10:58 Eastern, right? So it just opened a position with like 1 minute left. So I'm interested to see how it's going to manage that. It should be able to manage it. Oh, it was spazzing out. See, now what I want to do is put in an alert so I can hear sound because I'm not always going to be looking at the screen, but that doesn't mean the bot isn't moving. Let's look at our position right now. So where do we buy? We bought at 30. Where do we buy? We bought at 29. We bought at 29. So here's the position. Let's look at the position. Can you show me the position, homie? I just want to see the position. I am not going to hold you. I am still learning. Okay, there we go. That's the position I want. Now show me great stuff. Portfolio. All right, here's the position. We bought it at, remember, we bought it at 29 and currently it's down $4. It's at 33. Wait, Capital Hell. We bought it at 20. IV must be going against us right now. And that's the thing about implied volatility, right? It can go against you if we. All right, so here's the position. Let's bring it back up so we can see it. And this is our paper trading account. I want to see. That's another thing. I have to do more. I want to do more to be able to understand how to use IBKR because I'm not going to hold you. It is a great system to. Oh, did we just sell? Did we just sell? It just went from 1 to 0. I don't think we sold. All right. Here's what I want to do because that one is popping right now. So where are you, printer? That's Gamma. Y'all give me a second. Give me a second. I'm going to bring in another code so I can, and I know I'm bouncing back and forth, but I just want to jump at this real quick since like I want to strike while the iron's hot. Hold on, printer baby. And don't worry, we still got work to do for QQQ. This is just a little bit my. All right, beautiful. Close that, and this is our Lotto. What I want to do is open this up. Open up Cloud Code. Perfect. I like to use 4.5, not just 4, so that's why I'm doing it that way. So I can use 4.5. Perfect. The bot is okay. So this is when I told it that the bot was running. Let me see if you can catch the trade. You can catch the trade. You should be able to see the trade. Give me a second. Where is this cursor? That's funny. Looking for a cursor in cursor. Can you just show me? All right, now let's go over. All right. Here's the position. Is this a position? This is it. All right. This is it. This is it. All right. All right. Perfect. We were able to open up a few positions. Now read the log. Due to size, use grep or other search terminal commands to gain context. Then let's discuss. And what I want to do is let's go check our portfolio real quick because that's what we can do programmatically. Position checker. And this is a file that we created earlier so we can look at our positions, right? And we have our option position and it's up right now. So we're making money. It's up $3.14. Um, hold on. Boom. I'm gonna have Jit use that because also run so you can get the actual balance so we can have a clear understanding of what we are discussing. This is great. And I know I'm jumping from Lotto to QQQ, but this is great because for everybody, like you all have been following the process. We've just finished up live trading, so I want to just audit it real quick to see how it goes. QQQ is damn near finished, right? There's a couple things that we have to tweak on it, but I just want to make sure that the spy bot is good. And once we confirm that it's good, we're going to go back to QQQ, right? Now, if you do have any questions in the interim, please let me know. But I'm excited because our spy bot is actually working. It opened a position. That position right now is profitable. Net liquidity, the bot is showing 97. The issue is that your paper account has other positions besides the trades, the 17 stock positions, and the one spy. Um, the bot is tracking the entire P&L, not just its own trades. The offset formula works, but the IBKR account started with more than 1M. I understand that. All right. For now, so we can have a positive return, create a script so we can gauge the performance of the option contract, the one spy contract that is currently open. Read. This is just more. Again, we're building context for the AI. I'm using Claude Code. This read for more information on IBKR. Then let's create it. All right. Now let me check on the position. Where are you? The position right now is at. That's the thing. I'm trying to figure this out. So this is a change. The change is showing negative, but when I just checked it, we were just up $3. But the thing is, SPY, especially with these same days, like it could definitely move against you super the fuck quick. So I want to ensure and we have to figure out a way to be able to mitigate this because our paper trading account, yes, does come with 1M, but our bot is only going to be trading $100 at a time, right? Because again, that's another great thing about these strategies is that I wanted to demystify in the sense that you don't need hundreds of dollars to be able to option trade, right? You can start with $100, right, to be able to grow your account. And I have this amazing backtest that I want to show y'all once we get there for Lotto, how it was able to turn $100. Now, granted, this is back testing. This is on past data, but that doesn't mean shit, right? You test on past and the shit was able to turn $100 to 77 grand. This is option trading, so things could be exponentially quick, great, but things could be exponentially bad just as fast too, right? So keep that in mind. So I wanted to check on this position, and then if the position is still open, I think we're just going to close.
Order filled.
Did it close? we just open up another position? We just opened up another position. Oh, stop loss. We hit the stop loss. Oh, so the bot was watching. We hit a stop loss, and it was like, all right, you know what? Okay, great. So I was curious about that. How is it going to handle after it's done? So it still manages the position. It exited the position because the stop loss were going against us. So we were just up, but the bot decided it's like, all right, we were down $11, and then it went ahead and closed the position. So that position's closed. It looks like we still have a couple more that are open. That doesn't make sense. SPY contract, the current position, one call, 32, 37, unrealized, from previous, not currently. So where's that? We do have a script that we can run that will just close all the positions. Did I bring that in? I don't think I brought that in. Give me a second. Let's bring that in. Option. Oh, here it is. Yeah, close all. Um, close all SPY. Close all SPY option. And then what I want to do is just close you. Perfect. So it's going to get, okay, so there's no SPY options to close. Let me just make sure. All right, no spreads. Can I find? Okay, so that was for our spread. Okay. All right. Perfect. We just closed it. Double check that it is. And I'm going to go back to what we're doing for QQQ. I just want to finish this real quick. Double check that it is. Then let's discuss how we can have the bot manage the positions that it opened without confusing it for the others. Also, the bot is supposed to be, I'm going to get to that, the whole market and limit orders thing. Um, so, question here is, should I continue? Let me continue so we can wrap this up real quick. And then as soon as I know that Lotto's done, we can go ahead and go to QQQ and finish that one up. Because there's some work that we have to go ahead and finish up with QQQ. I was just excited that we actually saw 3 trades or 2. I think it was 3. 3 trades. And the bot was able to work the way we needed to. So that's exciting stuff, fam. That's exciting stuff. So I'm just waiting for the output. As soon as it outputs it on its response, and again, I just asked it to be able to verify if the positions were closed, and it is. And now, okay, the SPY position is now closed. The portfolio balance, the change option closed profitably. The problem is that your IBKR has 9K and PNL from other stock positions, but the bot think it has a 9K balance to trade with. Track the bot trades separately. Create a separate ledger for the bot only trades. Bot tracks its own PNL independently. Starting balance. List both PNL trades. Record. Simple, no IBKR account changes needed. Bot tracks its own performance. Manual tracking, not from IBKR. Use a separate sub account. IBKR allows sub accounts under one master account. Really? Just have to find out how to do it. Requires IBKR setup. May need account minimum. Filter position by bot signature hybrid. Tag bot trades and only count those when. So I can do that. We can do that. I want to test this. Use require the check if IBKR allows it. More complex. Let's test this. Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay. And see if this one works before we decide on how slash which one we'll use. Also supposed to be using limit orders, not market. Let's make sure when testing we test with limit order. Create script here. So we can all just keep it in one place. There you go. Stop spazzing. My fault, y'all. I appreciate your patience. This bot's not supposed to be trading anymore. You're done. You're off the clock. You're off the clock. And if y'all do have any questions while we're doing this, please don't be afraid to ask. We are, and I know I'm bouncing a bit. I'm finishing up the Lotto Q&A because we just finished up live trading for our Lotto bot, and this bot trades same day SPY options. It found a few options that it was able to trade, but there's still a couple of things that we have to tweak, right? It was able to profit on this last one. It bought a 672 call for $29. It was able to profit a couple bucks, right? Then before it bought a, if I can pull this up. All right, hold on. Test orders. And before it bought another call, and that call, I think it was like 6-7. I can't find it right now. I have to scroll all the way up. But it was able to buy another call, and that one was a little bit less. So, nonetheless, the mechanics of it is working. Whereas researching is finding the breakout and it's able to place the orders. It's just a bit of order reference is not preserved in the execution history. All past four order execution shows the reference empty. IBKR doesn't shows the order reference in the execution records. The market data issue, separate problem. Need market data subscription for live spot. Okay. Since doesn't work. Track from. All right, but how can we do this where the system complements each other and not working against each other to finish this work? And I know someone will say, "Hey, you're not spelling right." Right? This is AI we're talking about, and it has these. It's called a fuzzy function, right? And fuzzy functions allow us to be able to not spell words right, right? And the AI can say, okay, this is where, this is complements, this is each, right? This is won't, this is working, right? So it's smart enough to be able to figure out the closest. It's like autocorrect, right? Those type of functions are called like fuzzy functions. Not all of them, but most of them are called fuzzy functions, where like we can misspell a few things and it's able to deduce like, all right, this is complements, this is each, this is working. I don't need to spell everything right. I'm more so in the aspect I want to be able to make sure we get this done and done correct. And once it's done and done correct, we can be able to continue to move on to our QQQ bot. So let's review this real quick. Hybrid solution, the bot plus the IBKR validation, make them work together instead of against each other. The architecture, bot tracking, manual ledger for the bot only PNL, starting at $100 plus bot trades, fast, simple, and deterministic, cross validation. Verify trades actually executed, confirm the fills at the expected prices, check fees, and then match the expected alert if the discrepancy is detected. Bot ledger, source of truth plus IBKR validation, works with IBKR instead of against it. Take the IBKR snapshot at the bot start, and then snapshot at the start equals balance, boom, 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 bot starting balance. And then we're going to get the current state. All right, IBKR balance, record trades, self entry, exit, quantity fees. Perfect. Bot ledger updated. Okay. So we're going to get the IBKR state, and then calculate the IBKR change since, and then our bot ledger. Check if IBKR matches the bot within tolerance. Tolerance is $5. That's a lot. Let's drop tolerance down to maybe a buck, maybe two. That's a lot. That's high. So I'm gonna drop tolerance down to like $1, maybe two. Okay, validate if it matches execution. Okay, how they work together. The opening trade, bot places trade via IBKR. IBKR executes in fill. IBKR is a source of truth for execution. Bot records the ledger with the actual fill dates. Now the entry from IBKR closed, not closed yet. Quantity fees equals from IBKR. Close position. Close position equal await IBKR client place trade order. Action equals sell. Get the data. Get the exit data from IBKR, update the bot's ledger with IBKR data, validate both to make sure they match, use the bot ledger for position sizing, ignore other positions. So bot equals, all right, not influenced by the 9K and IBKR, every in trade for daily. So benefits, the bot ledger equals a fast, clean track, only the bot trades equal IBKR validates, fills happens, the price corrects, the fill is fees are accurate, together equals the best of both worlds, safety equals the alerts if they diverge, no conflicts, the bot ignores the. All right, before we do this, let's create a script to test and ensure this works. Also, we are dropping the tolerance down to 1 from 5. Proceed, make sure working and good before we continue. I just want to make sure that's good and that's ready before we continue with the work. While that's waiting, did y'all catch any of the NBA games last night? Bro, that Thunder game was something crazy. Was it a timeout? Wasn't it a timeout? Did KD call it a timeout? Interesting, QTNAs. But nonetheless, I'm kind of glad that the NBA season was tipped off last night. Number one, number two, the way that I didn't catch the end of the Lakers game. I low key fell asleep on it. But when it was like 6 minutes left to go, and the who was going off? Buddy Hield was going off. I think he hit 5 threes, 6 for 6 or 5 for 5. And these all came in important times in the quarter. And I think where this all happened is when like Marcus Smart pissed off Seth Curry, and then that just exploded their offense. But nonetheless, like the tip off was great, and it was like interesting to see how that was the first time I seen it. How a tip off game went double overtime. Like I didn't expect them boys to play that hard for the first game. Whoa, you got 82 of them things, right? And I'm just excited to see how this NBA season is going to go. I think, and I'm not going to hold you, I think they're going to repeat. I don't see anybody beating OKC in the West. Now, I'm interested to see how the only team I think right now has a little bit of competition is the Clippers. I know what you're going to say. As soon as I said it, I was like, bro, you sure? But I think if the Clippers get their shit together, bro, they have an opportunity to compete. Who's kind of scary, interesting is the Hogs, but I don't know. KP and Trey, like that may be a little interesting combo. Like we'll see. And also I'm keeping my eye on Charlotte. Um, Young Bull just went over there, so I'm interested to see how Charlotte is going to play out. Like they may be a little black horse, or dark horse. I'm not even going to mention Cleveland. I'm not even going to mention the Knicks. I'm not even going to mention the Sixers. They are just who they are, bruh. I don't know what they're going to be. I think in the regular season they're going to be great, right? Or good, or average. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see like how this is going to play out. Indiana is, I don't know, bruh. Y'all lost Tyrese. Tyrese gonna be gone for a little bit, so they're like the Celtics right now. But the difference is, and it's going to be kind of interesting, is they still got Jalen Brown, and they still got this cat from that they brought in from Portland, Simmons. What's his name? But nonetheless, I think that's going to be interesting. So all right, let's get back to our work, and I'll stop talking about the NBA. So tested the manual trading, simulated 3 trades, math verified. Okay, bot ledger's working. Actually found 4 spy options at IBKR, commission, sell, buy, commission. Okay, calculation is perfect. Reconciliation with $1 tolerance. As expected, the simulated trades shown mismatch. This is correct behavior. Didn't actually execute an IBKR. The real trades would reconcile within $1. The bot trades. All right. Perfect. Double check your work. Double check your work. And once confirmed, let's proceed to implement this within the bot and make sure not to leave any legacy code behind. So I'm gonna wait for that to output. We got our bot that just finished up here. So now we're going to be creating our next bot. Our next bot is going to be our QQQ bot. I'm excited for y'all to be able to see that. While that's running, y'all want to see a ridiculous back test? When I say ridiculous, bruh, but it's all factual. So I had multiple people check this. It's like, bruh, this don't make no sense. You see this? Am I tripping? Who's tripping here? Right? And I want y'all to see. So it ain't cap, right? We're starting with how much? We're starting with $100. We're starting with $100. $100. And y'all gonna see how this back test works, right? And the reason I had to implement this lock profit or profit lock, and it's kind of not gonna work in real life. Reason being so is because all the money goes into one bag or one purse, right? So it's not like you can delineate and say, okay, hey, out of the $100 profit, right, I need 30, I need 40, I need 50, so on and so forth. But for this back test, like I had to train the bot or I had to train the strategy, and they're kind of almost synonymous, right? I have to train a file, right, in order to work with being able to lock in profit. And like, because what we're doing, we're starting with $100, but we're saying that you can risk up to 80% or $80 per trade, right? Now this gets exponentially large, right? Because what we're doing with this option trading account, and you're going to be able to see it, and we're doing this on 24, right? So that's a good year. So let's say if we have $80, right? $180, right? That's good. But if we have 1,000, that's 800. Do you want to put 800 up? Right. So that's why we had to put in this lock profit system to be able to mitigate against that. Right. Same thing. Everything is the same for Lotto. If you're following us, there's nothing different. Right. I just want y'all to see this back test and check out the results. I'm just gonna let them speak for themselves. I'm gonna let the results speak for themselves. Oh, this is Gamma. Hold on. Let me make sure I get the right one. My fault. No, that's all. I was just Lotto baby. Here it is. So again, starts at 100. There's risking $80, right? Same thing. Gamma is just for our other strategy. So I thought I removed it from here, but it's still there. Whatever. So let's run it. Let's run it on 2023, right? We see the VIX range. Now this is the VIX range that the bot can do. Remember, we like to break up our tests, our back tests. We're going to do a training the first half and then validation on the back half. Now with the training, we're going to be able to see what happens. And this is training same day options with $100, right? Starting with $100. You're going to see the importance of this, right? And y'all going to see how crazy these back test results are. This is all real, all legitimate. It's not. I'm not holding you, bruh. We all built this here, so I'm going to show you why I'm excited about this particular bot here. All right, as soon as it loads, and the reason it's taking so long, we're asking to do 10 million things. So you try to do 10 million things and see how long that takes you. All right, perfect. So the first trade we lost $4. Second trade, we made $1, right? These are back testing on historical data on 2023. Third trade, we made $7. All right, fourth trade, we lost $43. And it's going to go kind of fast. All right, so let me try to follow along. And I was trying to follow along so you can see this. So we're at 500, we're at 652, 673, 387, 240, 264, 318, right? So these are real trades. It started at $100. We're at 289, 202, 203, 200, 199, 263, right? Starting at 100, and the bot is going. It just reached $1,000. 1,300, 2,000, 1,700, 1,500. Let's look at this 2,000, right? The bot made $300, right? It bought 33 contracts at 30, right? So that's how we're compounding. Once we have enough to buy multiple contracts, we're buying multiple contracts. It's at 8,000 right now. Started at $100, my G. The bot started at $100, right? And it was able to get to peak was 8,000. It closed at 6,000. Started at 100. Now we're here. Sharp is kind of low. Not going to hold you. That's something we can improve on. The return is 6,000%. That's not bad, right? And now we're testing on our back half, right? So there was 10 trades that hit the TP1 level for about 7,000. Trailing stop, meaning that we're going to lock in our profits. It's about 1,100. Time stop, meaning you only have about 15 minutes to be able to run the trade. So let's see if we can keep up with this one a little bit more, right? So fourth trade, fifth trade. So we just crossed $200. Just crossed $500. We're at 500. We just crossed 600. We just crossed 1,000. So let's look at this. How do we cross 1,000? The bot was at $629, right? It's aggressive tier 1. Oh, come on. So I'm going to review, and we're going to look at the trades. So we can't do this lot because it's pushing us up. 17,000, 20,000, 15,000, right? From $100. Whoa, $100. So I just want y'all to see how powerful it is to be able to backtest. But you don't backtest with the expectancy. 24K, 26K, 34,000. From 100. From 100, my G. $50,000. From 100. 67,000. From 100. 71K. From 100. Started at $100. We're about to touch 80,000. 88 trades. So y'all can see, I ain't bullshitting you, bruh. Lotto, baby. There's training. But I want this in a way we can see it and we can really. And I am. Hold on. Let me check on. Okay. Create plan. You were really just sitting there, bruh. I don't need you for that one. All right. Review the following files and create a file that is able to review all of the trades and explain it to us from the first profitable to the first loss to the entire trade from both training and validation for the back test. Make sure it is super simple and we can understand what is happening. All right, so we're gonna let that go, because I really want us to be able to. I really wait. Hold on. Okay, close. My fault. Hold on. The hair was making money. It was like, man, I need some of that. I need some of that. Double check and make sure this is from the recent back test. Review the log and get the proper file to do this. All right, get me right. Old code removed. Now let's update position sizing to use our tracker. That means about the compact too. Let's do this. The bot is closed for business. Yeah, it's 11:30. It's 11:30. The bar is closed. Perfect. Let's look at VXN. It's at 23. That's 605. Okay. A comprehensive trade analysis. All right. I just want y'all to see how crazy this is from this back test. So, and again, it's for Lotto, baby. So that's why I was kind of excited when it jumped to trade. And I was like, oh, bruh, bruh. So let's look at it while that's running. And it's probably going to compact, but that's fine. Trading period is from January to June 2023, 109 trades, 55% win rate, 6,000% return, right? Validation is from July to December 2023, 88 trades, 71% win rate, 79,000% return. The first trade was a put 382, 134% gain. The second trade was a small loss, was a put 377. Right. Validation. The first trade was a put 347, 54% gain, and then the small loss, the 438. Key insight: what made this trade profitable? Quick market moves, low VIX from 12 to 18. Right. Proper strike selection, what caused losses: fast, false breakouts, high VIX periods, late entries, and overtrading. Improve from basic to dynamic, right? So let's talk about the actual file, Mayute. Let's see how comprehensive you get there. All right, we talked about this. First trade, we made $54. That ain't bad. This strategy correctly identified a downward move, and SPY bought a put option at 382, and then that price dropped quickly. The trade hit the first take profit target in just 4 minutes, securing a 134% gain. The first loss: this strategy tried another put strategy, but the market moved against it. Immediately, the trailing stop loss triggered at break even, resulting in a small loss due to fees. All right. First 10 trades had mixed results with several small losses. The strategy gradually improved the win rate from 40% to about 60%. The higher VIX period, 20 plus, showed better performance. Most trades lasted about 3 to 15 minutes. Risk management: consistently used trailing stop loss and trailing profits. All right. First trade, what happened? So we're talking about that. So the best trade from the training period is when the bot entered a put at 417. It entered at $30, right? And then it was exited at $80, right? 167% return. It made $1,600. Best validation. This is crazy. We entered at $25, right? 25.50, and we exited at 58.50. We made 11 grand in 4 minutes. Legal. Worst trade, entered at 43. We exited at 23. Lost half the money in 2 minutes. This is how it could turn against you, right? Worst trade and validation. Again, we have more money, so we're going to lose more, right? We bought at 24, got out at 17. We lost 17 grand, right? Metrics. We have the win rate of 55% in training, 71% in validation, about a 60% improvement. The average ROI is over 100%. Right? Best trade is over 200%. Worst trade is under 100%. The average hold time is under 15 minutes. I love it. Sharp, it could be a little bit better. Could be a little bit better. The back tests showed dramatic improvement from training to validation. The strategy is learning. The algorithm learned from training data and specifically improved the performance. The better position sizing and the exit strategy reduced the losses. The strategy adapted to the different market regimes, the high VIX in training and the low VIX in validation. The validation period showed more consistent profitability with fewer large drawdowns. Right? I love it. I love it. Let's just have it double check your work before we proceed. And I know I'm finishing up the QQQ. Hey, my headsets are not working. Can you please type it going? What is your question? My fault. I didn't see. My fault. I did not see your question. How can we help? My headset's not working at the moment, so you want me to type? Are you asking for me to type in what I'm saying? Is there a way that we can add closed caption? Is there? Oh, my fault. Here's closed caption. So closed caption is supposed to be up right now, so you can be able to see it with closed caption. Um, Perfect. My fault. I thought closed caption was there. It's there now. What's happening? All right. We're just double checking our work to be able to make sure what we just did with this hybrid tracker is working. And once we confirm it to be working, then we can continue our work with QQQ. Here we go. Integration works. Double check, ready to proceed. A valid syntax. The hybrid tracker is working. Get balance. Um, we removed the legacy code. I love that. All points integrated. Import, track it, initialize, position sizing using tracker, record trade. Okay. Tolerance applied. Perfect. No strategy balance confirm IBKR. No starting balance only in configs. No direct. Manual trade recording pass reconciliation. All right. So we are good. Um, Going well. Thanks for asking. We are going over what have any questions? Can you see the closed caption that we just added? All right, I just want to make sure that everybody's good. All right, perfect. We have our integration and it works. So perfect. Now, just to quickly test and quickly. All right, that's good. I'll QA that later. Let's go back to QQQ. All right. Since did I go over IV? Do you all understand IV? We did go over IV, and do you understand it? Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about the strategy. Then I'll go into the back test before we actually run it. And we're talking about the little bit of issues that we're having with the back test and how we can work. And then we'll be able to jump straight into it. Okay. What's going on, Jenny? I hope all is well. And thank you for joining. And if you can hear this, you should be able to see in the closed caption. So if you do have any other questions, please feel free to let me know. Yeah, no worries. We are here to help you throughout the process. Yes, we stream just about daily. Any questions you have, let me know. Here to help. All right, perfect. So let's talk a little bit more about our QQQ strategy, right? And I'm going to try to keep both in balance. All right, so today we're going to be finishing up our QQQ strategy. And remember with QQQ, QQQ is an ETF. An ETF is an exchange traded fund, right? So when you think about an ETF, think about a quilt, right? And each one of those patches of a quilt represents a company. Now, QQQ trades, it's 100 companies within that ETF, right? And those companies are normally are normally tech companies. So your Apple, your Microsoft, your Nvidia, your Palantir, right? Facebook. I'm not going to call it Meta because it is Facebook, right? Those are your companies that are going to be within QQQ. Oh, that's why I'm here. Okay. Again, we are starting from the beginning. Y'all give me a second. So no worries. Here we are able to walk anyone through the process. Any questions, feel free to ask. Forgive me for not spelling everything well while doing this. All right. So what QQQ is going to be able to allows us to do, right? So we're trading same day options during a gamma squeeze, and we talked about what a gamma squeeze was, right? And a gamma squeeze is when we have either a market maker, right, that is shorting a position or going long on a position, right? And that position is moving against them. So what they're doing is that they're buying more and more of that underlying stock. Because they're buying more and more of that underlying stock, we're seeing that stock is going to pop, right? And normally, and we're trading options, right? So when the stock moves, the option price is going to move. And remember, gamma is telling us how fast delta is going to move, and delta is how we track the stock, how the stock moves in relation to the option contract. Okay, so if there are any questions at all, and I know I may be going a little bit fast, but let's just go back. Let's go back and just do this a quick overview. Little quick overview. I just took a break from work, and your stream is coming up from. You decided to join. Oh, good stuff. Thank you for joining. Again, we are here daily. Just about any questions at all. No. You do not need coding experience at all. I am not really a coder, but a learner that learned how to code. Thanks again for joining. All right, so we're going to talk about QQQ real quick, and after we go from QQQ, we're going to jump right into our strategy. So I already talked about QQQ. Never mind. We talked about that. Matter of fact, let me just stop bouncing back and forth. And let's just go straight into the code, right? Because I think that's primarily what you all came for, not me just renting on and on. So what we're doing is we have QQQ and it trades same day options, right? So what it's doing is that it's detecting an unusual call or put buying pressure via the order flow. So we're looking at order flows, right? And we're checking, okay, is there a lot of call pressure coming in? Is there a lot of put pressure coming in, right? That's how we determine what the market makers are doing, right? Once we determine which direction it's going, then the underlying strategy is going to say, okay, you know what? We found a gamma squeeze, right? So now what it's going to do is find the mid price, and the mid price is the price between the bid and the ask. Pleasure's all mine. Pleasure's all mine, Jenny. Welcome on through. Pleasure is all mine, of course. Proceed. Okay. And highest quality trades, the fewer the better. So this back test is going to take a few to be able to run. And we already ran it. Now we did see some issues. One of those issues was, matter of fact, let's, instead of trying to overfit, I'm going to run, let's double check. I want to make sure I'm going to run the back test on 2024. All right. Double check. We just updated so we can run on 2024 and gauge performance before we continue with the tuning. Why don't you? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by OBS? Oh, hold on. We are streaming using that. Okay, it's compacting the conversation. All right, we're working, and y'all, I'm just waiting for them to be able to, them being the AI, to confirm that we've updated it to 2024, that I'm going to run the back test. There was an issue that we saw that we were adding way too many filters to the back test, so that's why I decided to remove a few, right? And I just want to make sure that we're going to run it on 2024. Then once we run it on 2024, we're going to have a good base to be able to go off from, right? I don't understand. Um, what is the point of this, Jenny? Let me under. You trying to sell me something, Jenny? Is that what it is? You trying to sell me something, bruh? You trying to sell me something? Da-dum, 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 da-dum. That's crazy, y'all with that. That's what's up. I appreciate you, our new follower. I appreciate you. Configured, ready. You can't run that because that's going to take a year and a day. Double check that the output file is ready to run and has the proper name. Like logos, overlays, you can use them on your. Okay. Please just do not want to add right now. Good recommendation, though. All right, it's good and it's ready to run. So let's run our back test. Now, this back test is going to take like 15, 20 minutes to run. I'm not going to hold you, maybe 10. Because you'll see we're pulling in a lot of data. We're pulling in 100,000 1 minute bars, right? 20 million, 23 million Greeks, right? Calls and puts. You try to do something 23 million times and tell me how long that takes you, or try to do something 100,000 times. Tell me how long that takes you, right? So it's going to take a bit for this strategy to run through and to complete. And I'm fine with that because we're going to see like if this works, and if it does, you know what we can do is do two things that no, let's not do two things at once. Let's let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. And as we're pulling in the data, I'm just waiting for more of it to come through. Uh, as of right now, stick around. More exciting. All right, so we're just waiting for the back test to run, and once we get our back test ran, we're going to talk about it. So y'all bear with me as the back test is loading, And again, it's going through a lot of data, right? So once it goes through it and it finds it, it's going to like make sense. So y'all just give me a moment. I'll be right back. I thought it was going to be done by now, but I guess not. That's another thing. I got to figure out how to like load this data faster. If we can figure out how to load this data faster, bro, it'll no, our back test will be flying. Just loading the data be taking like damn near 5-10 minutes. But once we actually run the back test, it goes, it runs. Oh man, you are. I appreciate that. I really do. I'm not gonna hold you. I really, really do. But oh man. So we're waiting for our back test to run, and once we get our back test, all right, and we've loaded practically most of our data, and I'm just waiting for the other parts of the data to load. Yo, excuse that. All right, bro. Some hot sauce on my burrito. Perfect, perfect. Waiting for the back test to load, and once we have our back test loaded, we're going to go through them. Excuse me. All right, it's practically there, and it's just loading up the trades. Don't need to do that right now. Dash fine. Oh, bet. Did we load? Nah, loading up the data. And again, that is the longest part. That is the longest part. Let me definitely zoom in. All right, bet. You serious, bro? All that time just to tell me that, oh, you know what? I couldn't load. Let's find and fix the issues here. You put the hot sauce on the burrito. I found it. It's hard coded at 23 instead of the year. Yes. I thought that was gonna fall. Double check your work and make sure good. Cause I want to run this back test, man. I want to let the people see the great stuff that we're doing. All right. Yeah. All right. I want to let the people see the great stuff that we're doing. Well, let this back test run. All right. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be more expeditious. Ti hashtag tip. Um, but I hope it just goes through it so we can actually talk about the back test now. I put some hot sauce on my burrito. You don't have to forgive me, man. I feel like after like 90 minutes, it becomes like coding after dark type shit. It becomes like coding after dark. That's fine. I put some hot sauce on my burrito. I really hope that y'all are loving this information that we're putting out here. And y'all just forgive the little intermittent pauses that I've been taking to respond to people in the chat. And I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Jenny, I appreciate you, our new subscriber, our new follower out here. So welcome to the channel. And again, it's your boy Creative. We're doing this every day. I'm going to try to do this every day where we're going to be streaming, where we're going to be making different coding projects. Right now it's on Algo coding. But it's been very advantageous, right? I've learned a lot. I hope you all have been learning a lot throughout this process. So if you do have any questions, don't be afraid to chat. That's what I'm here to do, just to be able to assist you all as far along the process as I can. You know, I've only been doing this since about April of this year, so I'm still a novice myself when it comes to coding. But one thing I guess that separates us is that like I'm putting myself out there to be able to allow you to see my process, allow you to see my journey, right? But so if you do have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'm not the an expert, but I am considering myself a coder with a K, right? So y'all fuck with me, man. I put some hot sauce on my burrito. All right, almost there. Remember, it's just taking a while. This is the lengthiest part of the process, being able to load the data. And once the data loads, I mean, it runs by itself. It's just loading the data initially. We just have to load the data. There we go. So we're practically there, fam. I put some hot sauce on my burrito. Oh no, I've just been stuck on that. All right, bet. Come on, talk to me nice. Y'all give me a second. We're almost there. Almost to blast off. Almost to blast off. You know what I was supposed to, I'm gonna do that later. I put the hot sauce on the burrito. And you go the burrito. I I put the hot sauce on the burrito. Yeah, I never knew how I went to go buy a mic stand the other day. Here we go. The back test is running. I don't got to keep talking. The back test is running. The back test is running. The back test is running. Hey, 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 hey. All right, perfect. Back test is running. Our first trade out the gate, we made $54. Do you want to break that down, or you just want to keep going? Let's let it keep going for a little bit. Then I'll break it down in a bit. And again, this is QQQ. We're trading same day options. And we're looking for gamma squeezes. We talked about what a gamma squeeze was, and we're looking for and to being able to trade QQQ based off of VXN volatility, right? Anything above 17, that's why you're seeing this lightning strikes. Anything above 17, that is volatility for us, right? So that's how we gauge it, right? So that's how we're in. So the first 5 trades, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4 trades, let's call it the first 5 trades now. Out of the 5 trades, we have 4 that were profitable, 1 that we lost money. But the other 4, we make money, right? So I'm just going to let this strategy do its thing. And then we're going to talk about a few of the results once we have a few more populated here. So if you do have any questions, and I love it, you get to see that it skipped it live. So if VXN is too low, we're not going to trade in low VXN because this strategy wasn't built for that. This strategy was built to be able to trade in high VXN, right? So we're skipping those days that it's low VXN and only trading where it's high VXN. And where I got the data from, I was able to pull the data. Our option data is coming from Theta Data. The stock data is coming from IBKR. And what else? And the VIX data came from Fred. Damn, our first $100 loss. So as you can see, the strategy, it ain't just all shits and giggles, right? The strategy went in at multi-day loss. The strategy went in at 407 put, it bought it for $100, and it thought, okay, you know what, this one's gonna be it, but it dropped down to $48. So we just lost our money. And then first 3-day consecutive loss, we're at 145. We started at $100. Remember that. Just want you to keep that in mind. The strategy started at $100. The highest we've seen it right now was 303.95. It's okay. First 3-day consecutive loss. 3 consecutive losses. 4 consecutive losses. And that's okay. Like you're seeing actually what we do for backtesting. Like not everything's going to be sweet, and that's okay. Like I want to see like overall how is it going to perform 5 consecutive. I put some hot sauce on my burrito. We're skipping the low VXN days. I love that. If volatility is not bouncing, what's the point for us to be able to go there? So skipping the low VXN day or no. So you see here, if we don't have enough money, the strategy is going to tell us, or the backtest is going to tell us, hey, there's an option that costs 127. I only have $67, right? Option that cost all this, we only have $67. So the backtest is going to do that. So it's not going to overbuy, right? It's not going to, and that's what we are doing before. That's what I noticed before. It would buy when it's negative, and it would like overbuy when we can't afford. So we had to put in this measure that says, okay, if you can't afford it, you can't buy it. So you seeing that we've been sitting on the sidelines for, let's call it a few days, because we don't have the money, right? But let's see if it finds a position. So we're getting out of 63. Oh, because it went down because of the losses, fam. Because of the losses, fam. All right, hold on. So we're seeing the back test run live. And as you can see, it did perform well. The first 5 trades out the gate was like boom, 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 boom. And it leads you to believe, okay, let me be optimistic. But as you can see here, for about like a week now, let's call it 2, it's been sitting on the sidelines waiting. Say, bro, I don't got that much money, so what you gonna do? I want to see if the strategy rallies. If it rallies, then you know you have a strategy that can draw down. So let's talk about our drawdown real quick, right? So our drawdown right now is hovering around like 40, 50%. Hold on. I think 30%, 30, 40%. Strategy balance is 127.90 and currently have 67.73. What is the drawdown percentage? 47%. We're at 47% drawdown right now. 47%, but we see the math. We could do that before. So drawdown percentage equal the starting balance over minus the current balance over the starting balance. Let's multiply that by 100. Okay, I can do that math. So it's about like 2 weeks now that the strategy is just waiting to survive. It is waiting to survive. You know what I was supposed to? Okay, hold on. Should we just edit this now or just wait for it to see? Wait to see if it can survive. Let's wait to see if it can survive, but I'm pretty sure it can. I said 19, Jit. You wasn't able to catch that. And you're seeing this is real. Um, all these options that it can't afford. So you see, I mean, there's that duality, right, of being able to start at $100. Yes, you can start trading options at $100, but 1 or 2 wipeouts and you practically done, and you kind of need to recharge that account. So that's why I want to trade options that for strategies where like it can survive the 100, and like off of the profits that you're making, it's like, all right, your portfolio size is going to grow, right? Damn, it's been like, so the whole February, you haven't traded February. So it's okay. Here we go. We just got in. We just made $9. There we go. I was about to say. So you see the 27th. It found an entry 67. It made $9, just under $10, right? It lost $18. Ha! Uh, let's see what you're screaming. Okay, just lost $6. All right, come on, whoa. So, oh, look at that, it just popped. So it just made $38, and this we're in March now. So the strategy just made $38, and the balance is 151.03. Again, we just made 53. We just made $52. The balance is 152.16. We are back testing our strategy, our QQQ same day option strategy on 2024. Just made 28. So the strategy is north of $200. Our strategy is north of 200. Strategies made 75. Strategies north of $300. This is the highest that we've seen it right now, I think. 307. I think before it was like 300. Let's just take a look real quick. Before, the highest we saw was, what is it, 300? Yeah, 303.95. Now we're at 307. 536. We're at $800. You see how quickly that moved? We went from barely to surviving in August and February. I don't want to call it. I don't know. We're at $800. We just made 334. We just lost $200. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to talk shit, bro. As soon as you start capping, bro, the strategy, like, bro, I will humble you. I will humble you real quick. And the reason you see this locked here, we want to lock in some of our profits so we're not giving it all back, right? So that's why I was telling you about this lock, that whenever we have a profit coming in, like, we're going to take some of that. It's like, bro, I need some of that. Like, you're not just going to be out here like fucking off all this money to be able to give it back. No, I'm going to need like 20% of that, and we're going to put it in a locked account, right? So it's going to work. So you just see the strategy just crossed $1,000, right? Just made 391, but then it just gave some of that profit back. So we're at $700. So the first time we crossed 1,000 was, remember that, first time we crossed 1,000 was March 14th, and we're at 962 right now. So first time we crossed 1,000 was March 14th. We just gave back $200. We made 200. We just gave back 200. That's one thing I got to figure out. It's like, bruh. Are we selling too late? Cause we getting in, but like, that's what I want to figure out, this peak shit too. Are we selling too late? Are we getting in too early? Are we getting in too late? I'm sorry. Are we selling too early? Are we getting in too late? Are we selling too early? Are we selling too early? Are we getting in too late? You know what I mean. Strategy is at $600. It has 2 consecutive losses. Let's say 3 consecutive losses. A couple $100, $200, $18, 104, 140. See what the fuck? You related. You was like, bruh, I'm up a grand, and I ain't gonna hold you. If I see this live, I'm taking 200. I'm taking 800. I'm leaving you with 2. Go do this again, right? So that's why I kind of see this profit lock here. It lets me know it's like, all right, bet. I'm going to take gang from you because thank you. And number 2, let's go do it again. You just did it again. Now go do it again. All right. Waiting to see how this strategy's perform. Let's see if it can get out of March above 300, then we're good. Okay, just made $23. Let's see if it got out of March above $300. So we're in April right now, and it's 363.20. If we can get out of April above 500, then it's good. If we can be north of that, perfect. But the goal is to be above 500. And again, we started at $100. Keep that in mind. We started at $100. So what we're doing is back testing our strategy. We are going through 2024 to be able to see how well our QQQ same day strategy performs, right? We're back testing it on historical data before we go to real paper, right? And that will be not walking forward in a sense, but we're going to let the strategy back test. As you can see, it's saying, all right, dude, I don't have that much money. I don't have that much money. You tripping right now. And you see 272, but a portion of that is locked away. Like you can't touch that, right? So you got to be able to trade on what you have. And there's something I ain't gonna hold you. There's one thing that I see already that I need to do. I need to lower the way that we're locking in the funds, because from a recent backtest that we did, I noticed that for compounding, you want to be able to take away later, not sooner. My thought was, it's like, all right, I'm training you to be a good portfolio manager, right? Because every time you make money, I don't want you to put all that capital back out there. I need you to put like 30%, 40%, at the highest 60% back out there. But we are almost shooting ourselves in the foot when it comes to being able to grow this $100 exponentially, right? Like you want to be able to use compounding for our benefit. So in order to do that, we kind of need to scale back on how we're going to take our profits and allow the strategy to do its thing. But and that's the thing about being able to create a bot. Like we're going to see live, like, all right, bet you just jumped in a trade. I can keep my eye on this for a little bit until I know that I know that I know that you can run this. So for April, we're hitting that threshold where we just ran out, but you just saw how the strategy bounced back. Now it's just a matter of like it needs to manage the money a little bit better. And that's what we're going to be tweaking along this stream today. Is just making sure without overfitting, right? That my G, you're able to get up to $1,000 and now you're struggling, right? So it's just a little bit of being able to maintain and make sure that the strategy can run. And we're going to do this without overfitting. And the reason you're seeing this insufficient funds here is this, the strategy only has $71 right now, not the 272, because a 190 of that is locked away in our profit lock. So that's another thing that kind of need to tweak such that like it works in his benefit and not in his detriment. So we're going to let the strategy run. If you all do have any questions in the interim, please don't be afraid to ask. We are doing great things here as we are waiting for this back test to run. It is running. I'm just waiting for it to become active again in the sense of like go back in the market, you know? All right. All right, Roger. I'm going to allow the strategy to go. I'm going to go fetch some water, so I'll be back in a bit. Strategy's back in. Y'all saw I just made $35. Strategy is back in. All right, I'm gonna go grab. I forgot my water. I'll be right back. The strategy's back in the game. We're back in the game. Back in the game. It's skipping the low days. We're in June right now. So it made it out of May with a little win streak. Then it's in a little downturn right now. Okay, we have 121. So that should be good. Should be good enough for us to be able to continue. All right. And we're just back testing our strategy so we can see how it's working. Lost about 130 right now. 120, 120, 130. Insufficient. We have $100. 90%. We have $94. But it wasn't able to buy these options. This was close. Okay. Should I just make these changes now? There's a few changes that I want to make to this strategy. So, or should I just let it complete? Let's let it finish. Then once we let it finish, there are a few changes that I'm going to make because I'm noticing a couple things is that this profit lock, yes, it's helping because we're not giving back the profits that we're making. That's key, right? But we don't want to hamper the strategy from being able to compound. We know because that's one of the great things that we noticed about option trading contracts is that compounding is beautiful once it works for you. It could actually work against you too now. I don't want to hold you and make it seem as if like it's all fucking sunshines and rainbows. No. We can lose our ass, but like I want to make sure that we're giving it enough room to grow. And I think right now we are hampering it a bit. So let's wait until it's done. We're in June of 24 and we're back testing our QQQ strategy. And this is a strategy that purchases same day options based off a gamma squeeze, you know. So we're waiting to be able to see the results. If you all do have any questions in the interim, please let me know. And we're skipping the low volatility days and we are in July right now. We just finished up June. So we're in July. Just finished up June and we are in July. All right. No squeeze detected. That's fine. You know what? So we're actually making use while this backtest is running. I do have a couple of questions about this other strategy. And this is our Lotto strategy. So the backtest you're seeing is our QQQ strategy. And the strategy over here, this is our SPY strategy. Our SPY strategy just ran today. It was successful in running. It found 3 trades. And one of them, I think all of them, they weren't profitable, right? So now I want to, there's a couple things that we had to fix. We just added a live tracker because I noticed, and I'm using IBKR when it comes to being able to paper trade. So we're using IBKR, but the what I'm noticing right now, it doesn't. We can't parse or like tag our trades, like in a sense of it's like, all right, we just did a trade X for bot Y, right? I can't delineate between what we currently have in IBKR, right? Because these are different. A couple of different other option ideas or stock ideas that I had. I mean, some are doing well, some are not. It is what it is. But these option contracts that we open, we need to be able to have a way, so our bot could to delineate between them. And we came up with being able to create a tracker, the manual tracker. So the tracker is up, it's working. Now I want to, what is my question? Now let's review the log from today, from the past few days, and then gauge how the bot has been running in live paper trading. So here's the logs, and every time it runs, we create a log so we can audit it afterwards, right? Let's create a file that is able to audit slash review the bot's logs from paper slash live trading. Advise what went well, what didn't, what could be better, etc. Also, so we can better stay ahead of any issues. All right, here are the logs. let's create. Oh, there you go. Now you're good. There you go. We're running our back test, and then I'm also running a. We're also going to create an auditor for our our paper test that we did for our spy bot. And I know everybody's using this word bot, like trading bot, trading bot. What is a trading bot? A trading bot is just an algorithmic. So that's why you backtest, right? We backtest to be able to get an algorithm. Let me show you a backtest, right? So this is basically a trading bot is an algorithm, right? So whenever you see trading bot is an algorithm. So we are creating a strategy, right? That's in essence an algorithm that is able to look at data, and if the data matches what our algorithm likes, then it's going to execute on said data, right? Now, what we have to make sure is that we have to enable to make sure that our algorithm or the bot, quote unquote, can not only handle live market data, but being able to position manage, right? Being able to risk manage, right? And to make sure that if there's an issue, it alerts us. So that's why I want to create this auditor that can go through the files and tells us, okay, what happened, what's good, what's bad, and what can we update. Let me update the auditor to add these critical findings. Okay. So I'm just waiting for the auditor to finish. And once we get that auditor to finish, then we're going to review it, see what we can change or update on our spy bot or algorithm. The count is correct. Let me check the recommendation. Is it showing the error? Is the expectation? Okay, and I'm using Cursor to do all this. Excuse me, Cursor is the code editor. That's where we write our code, and then Claude Code is the AI or the mechanism in which, bro, you don't got to do all that. And this is sometimes if you get aggy and doing extra. All right. What do you call this? Log editor, auditor. Excuse me. Do not have to do that. Let's review the results slash findings. Um, keep in mind what we have just completed already. I should say context because this is a computer we're talking to. Computers don't have mind. One thing you gotta just remember. Take a shot for me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. And here I'm just we're having our back test run, and I figure let's do two things at once instead of just waiting for the back test to finish. And yes, this is something that we're keen on, but I noticed I did a couple of modifications that is adversely impacting this. So we're gonna let that run. Then after it runs, we're gonna come back. We're just gonna be doing two things at once, just working on two things at once. So just follow me. IBKR connection, all four, 6 trades executed, 6 clean shutdowns. Broken pipeline error, 256 occurrences on 10/22. The command input was failing when the bot was running in the background. Good news, doesn't prevent trading. Despite of this, we need to fix. Okay, the VIX failure DNS. Bot cannot trade without VIX. We need to add a fallback. Let's talk about that. Missing. No, already took care of that. The HTTPX library, I found out that this doesn't work. This library doesn't work as well as the request library. So that's why I'm not using that library. So you get out of that. The audit shows 0L is related to the, okay. This means that the hybrid tracking integration we just completed is not causing any errors. All errors are from the infrastructure. All right. Fix the broken pipeline span. First, um, let's do a few things. We need to check creating a file to do so if we can reliably use Yahoo Finance for real-time VIX data we need um, for the bot. Create a file so we can see this solution if it is robust and can work before we implement it into the bot. So back on the back test, we're in August and the bot doesn't, and again I really think it's the profit lock. Like we're just like handcuffing the strategy for not performing as well as like I know we can do. Um so all right. Yahoo VIX. Now we're going to test, and I'm glad that it used request and not HTTPX. Request is a lot better. It gets the job done. HTTPX is complicated for no freaking reason. It causes errors, and it just makes the bot spam. The algorithm, bot algorithm, same shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, just waiting on this to test and see how that's working. While that's going, oh, I guess I shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna let that work. And if you all do have any questions, please feel free to let me know. We are working diligently on timing out. Okay. Why is it timing out? The test is timing out. It's taking too long. No. Let me go see. Um, Sometimes it'll like be a little. Let's go look at what this test is doing. Let me go look at it. Let me put some eyeballs on it. What are you crabbing about? Oh, so success, response, success. Okay. So right now we're testing to make sure. And matter of fact, let me see what VIX is right now. VIX. VIX is 1913. Damn, it gapped up and going right back down. 1913 right now. 934. Okay. Yahoo is super behind. Yahoo's still at 18. Can we use this? Yahoo's so far behind, bruh. But Yahoo, bruh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Two things, two things, two things. Two things. Here are the results. We noticed that Yahoo pricing is still a bit lagged. Let's check if we can get from TradingView. Let's perform same test. First, run a few C curls via terminal command to understand structure. Then let's create the test. Our back test is in September, and it is still struggling to find, excuse me, to get into a contract. And again, I have a couple of hypotheses on why that's working, why it's the working that is, because there's a couple of things that we did differently here. But again, that's what I'm doing. I want to test different parameters just to be able to check, okay, this is what's working, this is what's not working, you know? So, whoa, 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 whoa. It's 1928, bro. Where y'all getting this 18 from? 19, yeah, VIX is 19 right now. Um, just bruh, bruh. Oh, so it doesn't. And we're gonna run it so we can gauge, because what it'll do. Oh, it's taking too long. Sometimes that's what I dislike about the AI. Like it could be and that's what's patience, right? Like we asked us to be patient. This AI, bro, no patience at all. Let it fail twice. Oh, this is not working. Let me bypass. Let me work around. Let me do a mock. Let me do this. Let me no. I didn't ask you for that. And I'll show y'all a different project as soon as like I really want to stamp this algo trading and like really get us. Oh nope, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Test trading. Okay, boom. I don't trust you, whoa. Because you'll be like, oh, after 90 seconds, bro, it's taking too long. And I want to put eyeballs on it. Where are you getting this 18 from? Okay, this is super delayed. Um, can you check if this is real time or delayed? If delayed, this isn't going to work. Let's find out how to get real time. We think it is delayed. Whoa, 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 whoa. Right now, we're just running C curls, and C curls is like visiting the website and pulling the data from it so we can check critical finding update delayed streaming 15-minute delayed. Well, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Um, like I'm kind of hesitant about doing it that way. Can you get it from you? I'm pretty sure. Like it'll show 19. That's super delayed. Super delayed, fam. No, like real time. What is it right now? Delayed. I ain't even think that this whole VIX Mama Jamma delayed. I think I did have a place. Hold on. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Real time, eh? No, no, no. Check. Oh, look at that. We just got in. Did we just get in something? Nope. Still waiting. Check. Damn it. And see if we can get it from here real time before we create script. Oh, we just bro. We just damn it. And that's okay. These are due to these parameters. And we gonna get it right. Dum 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 dum. We need to check. Need a place to get. I mean, we are getting VIX reliably from CSNBC, and that's working, but sometimes that doesn't work too. That fails, as we can see from our log. So I need a reliable fallback. Um, I know. Let's create a file that uses. Okay. Um, Give me a second. Let's check. Um, Maybe. Hope it's not delayed though. Delayed price. Delayed by damn near. Bruh. Bricks price real time. That's gonna be like super annoying for us to be able to like. Wait, do you give what? Google got finance? I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Let's check. Let's see if we can get from here. Google has that's what I mean, bruh. Stop being low. Let's use um the Python respective libraries that will parse the data we need in order for this to work, either using Google or okay. Yeah, instead of you doing that, let's try that. I don't even know if you're gonna get in for $26, but hey, you can try. And that's the thing. I want the strategy to go through the entire year because you got to use this data too. Like it all can't be peaches and cherries. And it was just working like super fine. But like I want us to be able to use this data and then get it right. While we're doing that, I'm finishing up making sure that our our other algorithmic trading bot is ready to go. I mean, there's a couple of things that I'm QAing in it right now, just to make sure that we run it again tomorrow. And I know it said that, oh, run it for the whole day. No, this strategy was not built to run every day. I mean, it was built to run every day, but just from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30. I'm gonna see if I can push it to 12, but that's really the cutoff. I'm not trading anything after that. It's only holding the back for 30 minutes. I mean, it was successful with that time that I said. So I was like, all right, let me just try that. Test VIX sources advance. Let's see what you screaming. Let's see what you doing. I bet. VIX is 1918 right now. Um, what the heck is that? We're doing something wrong here. Yeah, there's some kind of parsing error that we're not doing correctly there. So we got to figure that part out. Hold on. Almost there. Some kind of issue with the data we are getting back from Google. Let's find out what it is and fix it. We're almost there. I want to keep this up so I can cross reference it with the VIX data that we're getting. But one thing I would say, man, I'm just super happy with the resolution. Y'all would not. It's running, turning. What the heck is that? Yeah. Super happy with the resolution of where we started and where we are right now, man. Because this is super clear for you all. You can see I've tested it on a couple of different devices, and this is good. Like where we started and where we are. Oh man, give you all the pat on the back for the patience. I appreciate y'all patience, man. Imagine where we're gonna go from here. To the moon, Craig. Not just to the city, but to the moon. Now that it won't run it. All right, hold on. All right, it's getting it. See, that's the thing you get for stepping away. I don't know what it's doing. Let me go look. It said it's taking 45 seconds. I don't think it's taking success. The problem is that Google Finance Page has multiple price elements, and we're getting the first one, which is the S&P. Let me fix it. And I thought so. All right, the back test is almost done. It's in December and it's wrapping up. Bet we're getting it now. Damn, 19 or 18? It is at 18. Google's a little behind. It just popped a little bit. It just popped a little bit. I think it's going to be because Google, I think it's a bit delayed though, bro. A bit delayed. Um, I hear you, but really think it's delayed. I really do think it's delayed. Let's see. Okay. It ran. Check. We think that Google may be a bit delayed. We'll double check this before we actually implement the code. Damn, VIX just popped. Let me just go ahead and take you off there because I know sometimes you just like to update shit on your own. Damn, VIX just popped. Good catch. Let me verify. Because if not, bro, I got my backup. I just wanted a backup because I know CNBC is going to give us the VIX data that we need. It's a chef's kiss. But sometimes JIT fail. And we need to have a reliable backup. So that's what we're doing here. I think, would it be better to create a file that the bot can import for VIX or have it directly in the bot itself? Q&As, questions that need answers. Hold on. Review and advise how long is the code for the bot when it attempts to get the. What are you doing? Oh, attempts to get the VIX data. This 30-second timeout, bruh. Like, you just playing yourself. Where is it? It goes LG or GL. I think it is G, and then unless you got check, you got check. That's what I'm fixing right now, bro. 1911. Yo. Possible delayed. Likely. VIX is 914. And it depends on each. Fetching VIX from 5 times 1 second apart. I don't know. Okay. This is what I'm gonna do. Now I just want to see if it makes sense for us to be able to create a file, depending on how long that code is. Validates. No. How long is the line of code just referring to retrieving VIX? $25 lines. If it's 25 lines, then I'm definitely going to put it. Oh, it's 91 lines, 92 lines. Yeah, I can definitely put it in the main one. I'm not making another one. If it was over 200 lines and it's like, maybe we should make another file. But if it's only 92, then that's fine. Review the current code for the bot. Then we want to add a fallback with .com being secondary and Google being third, with warning that it. Don't even add it. I don't even want to add it. And because we can't verify if it is real time, just leave it out for now. Review and advise how we are going to do it before you actually implement it. I ain't see what you doing. I ain't see what you saying. Okay, the back test finished. Boom. The back test finished. Damn, that was horrible. The back test finished. Um, Review and compare to other 2024 years and advise. We have a few thoughts, but want to exchange ideas. All right. Perfect. Now I understand the current implementation. Let me review the plan and the fallback implementation. Single source method. It retries two with two delays. Identify source 84 fixed across 4 days. DNL fetching. So we have this. If it fails, it goes to perfect and then critical. Add a new method. All right, I get it, bro. You got to. You are like spazzing out right now. Okay, let's do this. Let me close it. You shouldn't be spazzing. That's bad for viewership. I told you. We're gonna come back here. Let me finish up what I'm doing here. Let's finish up what we're doing here and get this one working, and then we're gonna come back to this back test. So just wait. Primary, and then you get it from there. Add a new method to fetch URL. We love it. Modify, and then primary and backup. And then okay, beautiful, too reliable, infinite, fast fall over, real time. All right, let's proceed to do so. Again, do not introduce mocks or cache functions or methods, all real implementations. Then let's test to ensure good and ready. All right. So you see, we went from 198 trades that made $4,200, right, down to 43 trades, and we barely scraping 200, right? All starting at $100. I mean, yeah, but no. The trade frequency is still catastrophic. The 43 trades versus the 165 and 199 trades is the best version, 78% reduction. The filter is still too restrictive, even with the price acceleration, right? The minimum trade remove, the 17 is the king. Okay. Review and advise all of the filters, parameters, and configurations for the back test so we can understand it, explain like I'm 12, then not 23, 12, and then we'll advise which to adjust, and then give your best guess as to what you believe the parameters were for the high frequency trade results. Let's proceed. I don't see what you're seeing. I don't see what you're doing. All right, you calm down a bit. I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for that. But there's no way here you indicate that if it's delayed, if it's real time. I think this is the. It'll be cool if we can get another one that was real time. I mean, like, bro, I appreciate you, but okay. So we have the time windows like recess only been open for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Make it, miss it or no trade. The fear level must be 17. Market has to be scared enough. If VIX is 16.9, no trade. This could be too high. The baseline might have been lower. The spread must be less than 15%. The bid ask is the difference. It can't be too wide. If it's 15.1, no trade, rejected. The open interest checked. It needs 1,000 open interest in the money. Enough players in the game, no trade. The volume check. The call plus put volume can't be zero. If nobody's trading right now, no trade. The open interest plus open interest calls or put calls, right, needs to be 50%. Must be a clear side. Bias is 49%, no trade. The volume ratio, excuse me, needs to be 50% aligned with the open interest. Open interest calls, but open interest volume has 49, no trades. The price acceleration, price must move 3.03% in 2 minutes, and QQQ needs to be accelerating. If it moves 0.029, no trade. This is super loose. Baseline was 0.0055. Really, so it's a lot. The delta range must be 0.04 to 0.06. Options must be at the money enough. 0.39, no trade. What's killing your trades? Looking at the logic, I believe it's the VXN 17. Here's why. V17 198 trades 4,200 in profit, probably had a VXN of 16 or lower. Your current VXN at 17 raised from 16 and V18, only 18 trades. My best guess was entry was 15. Spread was 17. Price acceleration. All right. Let's test. No, I think the spreads were at okay. Also, we are going to take this under consideration. And also, we want to loosen the profit lock. We probably want to remove the 250 level and adjust the percentages to allow for more capital during the initial compounding phases. Let's discuss this as well before we give an answer to how we are going to adjust the parameters. Yes, the great thing about using Claude Code is that you can use two of them at the same time, right? But just make sure which subscription plan you have, because if you have Pro, you will run through that bitch real quick. The Max plan is a little bit better, right? But you're paying for it, but it's a little bit better with being able to use multiple sessions at one time. And using 4.5, I haven't run into any limits, so that's a great thing. Like I only use 4.5. Um, all right, I'm gonna come back here. You said you're good, working. Difference is within the 50%. Stress test 5. Block could continue even if. Okay, perfect. So you're working. The current locks 15% when you hit 250. When locked, okay. 17. 4 trades locked at. Final. 32% locked. 81% locked. Early locking at 250 hurts compounding because you hit 250 quickly, trade 4 and V15 and 17, locking 10%, 15%. You only have 150% profit to remove capital during the critical growth phases. My recommendation is to remove the early locks and start higher. We're starting at 500. Okay. Higher and tighter. Okay. More capital available for trades 1 through 15 and let you compound. Remove the 15 and then reduce. My fault. That's interesting. At 250, only lock 5%. Um, minimal locks. Option A removes 250 and starts with 500 with lighter percentages, giving you breathing room in the critical. Okay. So we are going with 15 VXN and keep keep the spreads the same and can use Excel of 0.0005 and option A profit locks so we can keep up as well. When you're done with these updates, update somewhere in the CSV with the parameters that were used so we can keep up, and also make sure that the output for this one has some kind of indication as to which parameters were used so we can better keep track in the future. Listen, I have the whole ass journal, but it will make, and I'm going to have them update the journal so we can better keep track of this journal, right? Because we damn near at version 23. And we're supposed to keep it in the journal, but the journal hasn't been upkept as much. I ain't gonna hold you. So we're gonna have them update that. So just make sure you remove the 250. You dropped it down a little bit. I love it. You reduced it. Okay. You went to 15. You went to 5. Because if you don't know the parms, just like bruh bruh. At the top, perfect. Word mix. Now word mix. Okay, did I address everything? We updated the position sizing, so that's working and that's good. We updated the parameters, so it's closer to the version that we worked. Okay, that's great. Um, you know what I can also going to do too? I have my whole ass whiteboard, so gonna use this whiteboard. Parms that parameter parm that we are using now to backtest. Boom. All right. So we have that. Can this give me a peek into the ones that I finished? Okay. I have a little bit updated early exit. Oh, I removed that early exit shit anyway. So the early exit said, damn. Early exit ain't gonna tell me nothing because I removed that. All right, so let's just run it with this. Perfect. All right. Let me have double check before we run the back test. Because sometimes you can trip. What's another thing that we needed to update here? Year. Okay. We're good. We're good. Remove the 250, 500 parameters at the top. Perfect. All right, let's run our back test. Now again, the back test should be a little bit, you know what? In the interim, I would love to be able to figure out a faster way to load this data. So okay, before I even do that, so I'm gonna let that go. Um, let me see. Where's the audit? Where's the audit? Log audit. Log audit. let me run this so we can check the log real quick, see what else was the issue. All right, 7 sessions, 50. Okay. The VIX, we already fixed that. Connection failure. What was the connection failure? Bot cannot trade. Oh, that was me. That was a me thing. Massive compound error from broken. I don't need that. DNS error. What went well? The connection stability. That was a me thing, so that's not something that I need to fix anyway. All right. So what I'm going to have it do is do you see the different agent profiles within, and y'all going to see this within curse within Claude code that's available. And I still have my thoughts about these different agent profiles because I don't know if they work too well, right? I think it's just hokum. So let me, okay. So we have a general purpose, right? I also created this option trading bot developer, right? Design, implement, optimize, automated option trading system strategies and risk management and backtesting. We also created this option backtesting specialist, design backtesting framework to validate historical data, calculate Greeks, implement execution assumptions, and analyze strategy performance, right? So we have those two different agents, quote unquote, that we created within Cloud Code. Now, I think it's Holcomb. BS. So let's check live on how they work and how they do, right? So what I want to do is say using the bot option trading bot developer agent, we need you to thoroughly review our uh, our Lotto bot. Review our Lotto bot. See if there is any weaknesses, blind spots, or issues we have not ID'd yet. But if the bot is good, just say that. Do not make up anything or assume. All of your findings must be cited accordingly. Now proceed. So you're going to see it's going to be like, all right, so you want me to use this developer? Watch what happens. So you see where it says puttering. Watch, it's going to go to boop, developer agent. I think it's green or red. I think it's okay, green. Okay. All right, perfect. Now I'm this agent, right? Option trading bot developer. So now it's going to do what it said. It's going to review both of these codes and see if there's any. It's a SWOT analysis, for lack of better words, right? So it's going to do a SWOT analysis of the. Hold on. Do a SWOT analysis, basically, is what we are asking. Now proceed with using the developer agent. I should have just said SWOT analysis, but whatever. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. SWOT, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threat, right? SWOT analysis. Used to have to SWOT a lot of shit. It's annoying. Ba-da. All right. Backtest is running. All the data is loaded, and then backtests are running. Oh, I was about to say, didn't we tell you to jump up? So let's run it. First trade. We okay. coming in hot. Made $54. What we're doing for our second trade, we made $44. We're at 198. Right? We're not locking until we get to $500 because remember I saw last time from our other back test that okay, we're taking away capital. We just lost 15. And because we're taking away capital, we're hurting that compounding. So we're running a back test on QQQ over here, and over here I'm having our air quotes, right? I'm having the option trading bot developer agent review our SPY algorithm, right, to be able to trade SPY same day and see if there's a SWOT analysis to be able to see if there's any potential to increase or get better. But again, I don't want to do this without overfitting, so we're going to see how this works out. So we just made 102. We're at $300. We just lost $100. So the first 6 trades, the first 6 days, 9 days, were we active? Just lost 58. We at 130. And it can use the strategy that is, it can use up to 90%. We just made 144. We're not talking about you have to be able to take your emotions out of it. If you don't take your emotions out of it, if you saw, all right, I'm up $300, right? But then you got down to 130. What are you going to do, right? Again, we just lost 130. What are you going to do, right? Are you going to allow your emotions to dictate it and say, okay, you know what, this isn't a space I need to be in, like clear it, right? Or are you just going to allow the bot to do its thing? So that's why we back test to see. We're at $60. Hmm. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Obviously, obviously, obviously. Let's see if it survived. 17 days in. I think that 16 threshold or 15 threshold just a little bit too loose. A little bit too loose. All right. Hold on. That 15th way max spread. Where's VIX? VIX. 15, maybe a little bit too. I think we should have just did it from 7. Should have did 17. All right. 8 major strengths, including the robust. Um, 8 major strengths, including the robust VIT adaptive framework, the sophisticated exit system, the validated backtest foundation. Weaknesses: 10 actual issues with file line citation, including the missing position total fees attribute will crash at Lotto bot, the position exit target not using the VIX adaptive parameters, the entry fill price assumption vulnerability, and the option chain iteration and efficiency. Opportunities: 11 enhancement opportunities, including the Greek based adjustments, the partial exit, and the smart order routing. Threats: 12 external / market threats, including the flash crash exposure, VIX data source failure, and 0 DTE expiration risk. Citations needed: add position total fees attribute crash risk, add the VIX adaptive target for position class, add slippage modeling, and implement a 3 p.m. hard cutoff to no, bro, we're not trading and even until 3 p.m. So that's like kind of redundant, but I get it. But I'm not going to be trading till 3 p.m. either. So, few things. Here's the backtest fam. Wait, yes, this one. All right. Before we proceed with the implementations, a few things. Here is the back test. Check and advise how we VIX adaptive target positions. Position exit targets and okay, how we exit positions. Are we using IV plus VIX or just IV or just VIX? And compare to how the bot is doing it live and advise findings via TLDR. Too long, didn't read. It is February. The bot is at $60. And again, the highest we've seen it was at 300, but it's at $60 right now, and it's looking for positions. The lowest I see right now is 93, but we only have $54 available. So this is a part that's going to be intriguing to see if the bot can survive, but thrive. Right? It was thriving before, but Jake took a couple of bad trades. I think that was uses an IV, and I think that's because of the whole VIX BXN 15 instead of the 16, but we'll see. Uses the IV scaled stop loss method, stop loss even IV scaled calculation, adaptive stop loss percentage equal the calculate the adaptive stop loss VIX equal entry IV time held even IV scaled, apply to entry formula, clamp to, okay, stops based off of the option plus hold time. LiveBot use a static stop loss with VIC adaptive parameters. This is not used. Okay, it's set at once. Apply to entry. Exit is a simple if current price is this. Stop never adapts after position initialization. Current critical difference is that the live bot does not implement an IV scaled stop. Backtest calculates adaptive stop every bar based off IV plus time held. Live bot set only once at entry from VIX parameters only. Parms parameters calculates the adaptive stop loss function exists but never called it during the position. LiveBot is missing the IV base function. Okay. All right. Give me a list of items that we need to implement and fix now based on this information before we actually proceed. When I say I'm loving the visuals, my G, because it like started from the bottom, now we here type shit, because like gee, I like y'all couldn't see this at all. Like I used to be working on some really great projects before, but y'all couldn't see this. But now it's a lot better. You can see what's going on. I'm running two projects at once simultaneously, right? If you all do have any questions, let me check. Please feel free to ask, right? We're doing great work here. This is my process. This is how I do it, right? This is not to say that this is the best. Okay. All right. Based on the SWOT analysis and the backtest comparison, here are the 7 critical items to fix. We need to fix the missing total position, fees, attributes, location is the live bot to line 227 reference it, but the position class never creates it. Crash when the closing position recording trades. Fix, edit, fix the account tracker, location, assumes that the tracker exists before IBKR connection. Impact crashes if the status called before connection, add none. Okay, implement the high IV, use VIX, NTP, 1 and 2, 3 p.m. cutoff. It's kind of redundant, but we don't trade after 11, but 11:30. But all right. Fix the fill entry validation, add slippage monitoring. All right. All right. Well, let's proceed to get this done. Again, after each, make sure to quickly test via QA quality assurance terminal commands to make sure good and ready before moving to the next. No fallbacks, no cache functions or methods, all real implementations. Well, let's get this done. Damn, this back test, bro. It's August. August. It's March. And you still trying to find one. I believe in you, though. I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you. But the question is, do you believe? All right, perfect. It's fixing what we needed to. PNL. Okay. Now run me a test. We'll make sure we Gucci. That's what I mean. And you're seeing the terminal commands, right? Just to make sure that everything is working the way we need it to. You're seeing the import positions from Lotto. Okay, just ran Just fat fingered it. So now it's going to do that same command again, but with a better code structure. So it's like, all right, I mean to fat finger that. There you go. Now we Gucci. Total fees attributes. Total fees attributes. Total fees attributes. We fixed that. Now it's gone. Don't tell me it's fixed. Just go to the next one. I really hope it doesn't say, "Oh, I just finished it." Just go to the next one. Thank you. Just go to the next one. Get me right. Get Vix adaptive perm. Let me check. Vix level. iPad. Bad. This is the def. This is what we're passing into the function. We're setting our variables, and then we're creating the function itself with the time equals time held over 60. Adaptive. Now we need to add the position to create the call. Okay. Take a shot for me. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is probably gonna be a two-parter, maybe 2.5-parter. After this, I need to go eat lunch. So I'm gonna take a quick little pause, and I'm gonna come back, and we're gonna finish this. But I got a hard cutoff because we got tip off again tonight, but it's with my heat. So I got that to go be excited about. When your team is kind of like checked out for football, and you like looking for the next, your next team to be able to perform well. That's where I'm at. My team for football, bruh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I know them boys. I mean, if they come back, we're 1-6 right now. 1-6, my guy. 1-6, and it's just been. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And I'm just kind of letting off some steam right now because hey, this is whatever. So I'm like, man, I'm just waiting for the heat to come because I'm like, all right, I can actually look forward to games. I mean, until maybe we shit the bed there, and I don't think we're going to be. I think it's going to be a good little tough season that we're going to have. I think we're going to be another dark horse. I know we talked about dark horses before, but I really think the Heat is going to be one of those dark horses because like we saw one of the problems that we had before was putting the ball in the basket. Defense is really not the problem when it comes to the Miami Heat. It's really just putting the ball in the basket lately. Ever since Jimmy left, we had a problem just putting the ball in the basket. Now we have a couple of proven scorers on that team, and I'm kind of interested how Norman Powell and Wiggs are going to get along, right? Interested how Davion Mitchell, another full year, right? How he's going to work out, right? I'm interested to see the progression of Jaime. I'm interested to see the progression of Jokic, right? I'm interested to see, like, I need Bam, like, you need a 20-10. I need you to average 20-10. If you can give me 25-10, I love you, but I need you to average 20-10. Like, I'm not going to hold you. Like, I would talk some shit right now, but 20-10, my guy, I need you to average 20-10. You average 20-10, we're Gucci. Khalil Ware, 15-10. That's where I'm at with you. If it's better, perfect. But 15-10, I need that's another one. A double every night. 15-10. 15-10. You do 15-10, then we're actually making paces. Now the only kind of question, Pele Larson as another one that I'm kind of interested in too, like how he's going to take another step as being our point guard. Now we have Drew. Everybody has been saying, "Oh, watch out for Drew. He's gonna be it. He's really the point guard that he's been looking." Yada yada. I think we haven't had a point guard since Gogi, Goran Dragic, right? I mean Kyle Lowry. Okay, excuse me, Kyle Lowry. I give you that. I give you that. I give you that. But for me, Gogi, whatever. Lowry did his thing. I ain't gonna hold you. Lowry did his thing. But for right now, it's like I'm interested to see how it's going to pan out. I think we're going to come in maybe seventh, between seventh and 10th, right? Our seed 7th and 10th. We're not missing the playoff. Get the fuck out of here. Think we are, right? But this is going to be an interesting season, and if Well, the games last night is a microcosm of what we're going to get this year. Buckle up. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. All right, so I can do one or two things here. I can go ahead and grab my lunch real quick, and I can be back a little sooner, right? Or I can suffer through this. Now I know y'all fault with me, and you ain't gonna crab if I step away for a bit, but I'm gonna be back so we can actually get this work in and finish up. This is great stuff. What we're doing here, slippage model. Okay, what are you doing? All right. Oh, 245 cutoff. I said, I mean, you really don't trade past that anyway. I really think that's redundant, but nonetheless, it slides. All right, y'all. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to, this is a great stopping point. Our back test is still running. I'll be on a bit so we can finish up our work. We're just doing some QA on our other, excuse me, other spy trading bot that we ran. Okay, it's perfect. Okay, we fixed the attribute preventing the crashes. We fixed the IV scale dynamics that matches the backtest. We fixed the adaptive exit TP1 and 2 matches the backtest. We fixed the entry fill 10% polling. Okay, we fixed the 3 p.m. hard cutoff entry prevent expiration risk. We fixed the modeling match the backtest, and we fixed the position tracker. All tests are validated. Now matches the fact test implementation. So I think this is a good stopping point. I'm going to be back on in a bit so we can finish up this work with regards to the QQQ. But our spy bot is ready to go, and we're going to run that again tomorrow, again live. And I'm going to be on a little bit closer to like 9:40, maybe 10 a.m. Eastern, so we can actually run that bot and have it run for the full hour duration. Now today we ran it, and I was able to find three trades. Right, a few of them weren't successful, but the fact that like it was able to find what we need, execute what we need, and then monitor it. What I just did right now is just to make it a little bit better, such that when it runs, it's like it's not running, hopping on one leg, but it's running with the full features that it needs in order to perform well. So nonetheless, it is your boy Creative. We'll be back at it again in a few so we can finish up our work when it comes to our QQQ strategy. But if you all do have any questions in the interim, don't be afraid to leave it. Leave it in the comments and I'll come back and answer it. But other than that, it's your boy Creative. We'll be back at it again.